Started last year. This is my second year since I retired. And every week I have a different guest with me. And tonight I have one of my all-time favorites. When I coached at WVU with Hugs, this guy, when we came in here, Hugs and I came in, Joe Mazzulla, who's now the head coach at Fairmont State. Let's give Joe a hand. Yeah.
Right.
WVU grad, played for us for WVU for 4 years. Went to Fairmont State as an assistant coach, and then he went to the Boston Celtics. What would that be? Their G League team?
Yep.
Maine
Red Claws.
Red Claws.
Red Claws.
Maine Red Claws with the Boston Celtics. And when Jared Calhoun left Fairmont State to go to Youngstown State, Joe was named the head coach of Fairmont State. This is his second season. He's doing a great job over there. I'm fortunate to have him on the show tonight. Joe was a coach's dream. As a coach, you wanted players that would play extremely hard every possession and every play. And Joe Mazzulla was the ultimate fighter, scrapper, warrior, whatever words you want to describe, of playing hard. Joe also was a player that you could always count on and played through injuries, played with extreme pain, but always played and was always there and always answered the bell for us. That's pretty good props, man. I make you look a lot better than what you are, don't I?
I'm sure I was a coach's nightmare at times too.
We didn't get to that side. There were a couple things. There were a couple things during his career where Coach Huggins and I had to step in, and Coach Harrison had to step in, Coach Martin, we had to step in, and we won't even get into it, Joe. That's history.
No, thank you though.
Yeah, that's history. But
thank you. Happy to be here.
Are you a happy guy? Are you? Here's what's crazy, Joe.
Let's hear it.
How old are you now?
30.
30 years old.
Yeah.
So when you think about the time, go back to your high school days.
Okay.
Go back to when you were recruited.
Yep.
Go back to your college days. Now you played on those teams. Now you're out and you've got a full-time job. You're married, got a lovely family.
Yeah.
And you're doing pretty doggone good. 20 years ago, would you ever thought this? I mean, did you ever have this? Did you ever have in your mind this is how it would be?
To some extent, I think. Yeah.
Really? Did you?
Yeah, to some extent. I think always knew we wanted to be involved in basketball. So basketball has taken. I've been very fortunate. It's taken me a lot of different places all over the world.
Right.
Really.
Yep.
And it's because of basketball that I met my wife, and we had our family. You know, I met her at my first job at Glenville State. So.
Right.
Just doing what I love to do, taking advantage of opportunities, and just trying to be at the right place at the right time has really paid off. So it just goes back to that love of the game, and basketball is a purpose, and it's something that I love to do, and it's helped me in life. You know, I think that's what a lot of people appreciate about the game of basketball is really any sport, so to speak, is it really helps you in life. So that's something that we try to talk to our guys about.
I think the game of basketball and being on a team and being with a team, I think it's life lessons that you learn.
Yeah.
I think it carries over to your life. Mm-hmm. You're going to have setbacks in basketball, setbacks as a player, and that's how life works too.
Yeah.
Now you get married. Now you have a family. Guess what? That car's not going to be on cruise the whole time.
No, it's not.
You're gonna run the construction.
Yeah.
Or you're gonna be driving along. All of a sudden, cars are gonna be backed up, and you're going like, "What's going on?" So,
yeah. No, you're right. I think the game of basketball does.
Yeah.
It's a direct correlation to the game of life and
Right.
how you handle situations, your preparation, how you handle in-game stuff, and
Right.
Your mindset and your mentality. And that's something that we talk to our guys a lot about. And the goods and the bads that you deal with on the basketball floor is just a foreshadow of what it's going to be like when you graduate and get into the real world. So how are you? What can you take from this? How are you able to adapt and apply it to it? So I think that's really the true job as a coach.
Right.
Is is to prepare your kids.
Yep.
Like right now, I think we've lost 3 out of the last 6.
Right.
And the only thing I keep telling our guys is if you think this is the hardest thing you'll go through, then you're very narrow-minded.
Right.
So whatever it is that we're going through, just take the information. Just take what you're learning and figure out how to apply it. And the quicker you're able to do that, I think the more successful that you'll be able to be.
Joe, I've listened to you, watch you coach, talked to you several times, and I've sort of gotten your philosophies on things. And you as a player is completely different than you as a coach. You were almost like crazy as a player. And I see you on the sidelines now at Fairmont State, and your demeanor and your demeanor during the game is pretty much steady.
Yeah.
You don't get you don't get. I don't see you going like high and low and up and down, and you're pretty consistent.
Yeah, I mean, I think it's just a learning curve.
Right.
So I think there are parts of my playing days that I'd like to replicate as a coach.
Right.
So just learning how to do that.
Right.
I've only coached 50, 60 games.
Right.
So I'm still learning how to do that. As a player where I was able to bring the passion out by getting a rebound or getting an offensive foul or diving for a loose ball, I can't really do that although I would like to win a loose ball as a coach. I have to learn how to put that passion elsewhere. So I think you put that passion in your workouts with your players, the film sessions that you have, coming up with game plans. So I think it's just channeled differently.
Knowing your thinking a little bit, and you run a program that is faith-based.
Yeah.
Right? Mm-hmm. I got to ask you this.
Okay.
What sort of has what's changed you to being as you were as a player in WVU to your mindset now? Have you read a bunch of books like Power, positive thinking type books, or faith-based books?
I think.
Or who's been critical to you?
Yeah. So I think the most important thing was how when I played, I think basketball was my identity.
Yes.
And how I felt as a person was based on my results as a player.
Right.
Which I think is very unhealthy. Has its strengths and its weaknesses. So I think when I graduated and I realized I wanted to become a coach, I wanted to find a way to just be purposeful in that. But I didn't want to be a coach. I didn't want my identity to be in coaching. I wanted it to be in who I was as a person. So I think that was the first step, was just figuring out how
Did you figure that out on your own?
No, probably not. Probably the people around me.
So you got that from other people?
Yeah, I mean, I think the first step is what you talked about, just having faith-based and finding out what your purpose is and seeking that better.
Right.
So once I was able to get on the right path of, God has led me to Glenville State, and I knew I wanted to become a coach. How can I impact others? I think that starts it.
Right.
And then I think it's a matter of God always puts people in your life, so you have to you got to steal from everybody.
Right.
So one of the things I really tried to do was
absolutely
everyone that comes into my life is for a reason. What can I learn from that person? And
did you steal a little piece from me?
Oh, not the good parts. No, I did though. I mean, I think
you know what? I think there's a little Billy Hahn spirit running through you.
Yeah, no, I think there is.
Right?
I think from you, I think we were able to take that optimistic approach. I remember through all the goods and bads that our college career, wins, losses, on the court, off the court, we were always able to see a positive aspect to it.
Right.
A lot of what you talked about kind of went back to toughness, mental, physical toughness, so the ability to work through situations.
Right.
So I think it was just a matter of paying more attention to who God has put in my life and what can I learn from those people to make myself better.
Yeah.
And He's blessed me with, I've met a lot of great people. I've been able to work for a lot of great people, and I've been under a lot of great people.
Right.
So I was able to learn from them and just figure out where I can apply that to my life and make it better. So,
Joe, I think it takes people, sort of blows my mind that things that happen to you in life and things that occur to you as a human being on a daily basis. I tell everybody this, that like there's messages sent every day to people, and I think people don't get the message that was sent to them. Like, and I don't want to get corny or anything, but like I'm driving in my car, and if there's a view of the mountains, or there's snow covered mountains or whatever, they're gorgeous.
Yeah, I think it's just.
You gotta live. You gotta appreciate those things.
Yeah, I think I call that mindfulness.
You call it what?
Just mindfulness, just being mindful of what's going on around you.
Mindful, yes.
Yeah, and I think that's important to be able to do that. Take a step back, find a perspective in a lot of stuff. So I think to answer your question, once I got into the world of coaching, settled down and met my family, we kind of settled on, okay, what do we want to reflect as a family and as people? And obviously faith was one of those, commitment was one of those, gratitude was one of those, just constantly being grateful for things that we've had. And we always wanted to be where we were supposed to be. We always wanted to be where God wanted us to be. And so it started out being Glenville, then it was Fairmont, and then it was to separate, me go to Maine, my family stay here, and then it was to come back here. And if we always made the decisions based on that, we were always going to have a positive impact on people. And I think my wife and I and our children have really stuck to that.
I think sometimes, for example, in your situation, I compare your situation a little bit at times with mine, that when you're away from your wife or your kids, which you were
for 7 months.
For 7 months.
Yeah,
7 months. You're away from them.
Mm-hmm.
You appreciate them once you get them back.
Yeah.
And now you're together on an everyday basis again.
Yeah.
And you were separated. I think it makes your situation even better.
Yeah,
I think it builds a stronger relationship.
Yeah, I think you have to ask yourself, okay, why did we do it and what are we trying to learn from it? So I think in doing that, the first thing we learned was we're willing to have faith and we're willing to put our trust in something bigger than us and trust in God.
Trust is a key word right there, trust.
Yeah, so we were willing to do that. We were willing to make the commitment to coaching not just being something I wanted, something our family wanted. That was a commitment. There was some other good in it. I was able to go by myself and really focus on becoming a better coach because it was going to be what's better for our family in the long run.
Right.
So I was going into a new environment by myself, somewhere I've never worked before. So I was able to just solely focus on that while my wife stayed and took care of the kids and kept everything intact. Then I was able to bring back everything I learned and not only have a positive effect on Fairmont State men's basketball, but also have a positive effect on the community.
Right.
But I think what my wife and I did was a reflection of commitment and strength in a marriage.
Right.
And I thought we tried to be an example for that for the people around us.
Right.
But like you said, it really made us even better once I was able to come back.
It's amazing how it works.
Yeah.
I tell you this, talking about trust, right?
Yeah.
I'll give you an example. 42 years I've been married. Our daughter and our son-in-law now live in Fort Lauderdale, Florida. And they blessed us with 2 grandchildren. Matter of fact, Olivia Grace was just born December the 10th, so she just turned 2 months already. And our little girl, Katie Ann's, like 18 months old. Mm-hmm. No, 20. 2.5. That's 32 months old or whatever. I went to Maryland. I can't add up. But talking about trust, Kathy's getting ready to go down to visit them on Sunday this week. And she's coming back on Friday. And I said to my wife, I said, hold on a second. Why would you go to Florida and only be down there for 5 nights and 5 days?
Yeah.
Why don't you stay a week to 10 days? Mm-hmm. You know what she told me?
What?
I can't trust you when I'm away. So you would think after 42 years, Joe, after everything.
Someone's got a babysit you.
Somebody's got a babysit me, right? Oh, full-time job, right, Kat? I had my train of thought. 17-7.
Yeah, we're 17-7
14-4
in the league. Yep.
in the league.
Tied for second.
Tied for second. First place is West Lib.
Yep.
Second place tied with is
Notre Dame.
Notre Dame Academy.
Yeah. Notre Dame College.
Notre Dame College?
Yep. Yeah.
Where's that at? Is that in Ohio?
Cleveland.
Does Scarberry play on that team?
Yeah, he does.
You know, I coached his dad.
Really?
His dad, Rick Scarberry,
Yeah.
when I was at Ohio University. Matter of fact, when I went to Ohio University as the assistant coach in 1980, Rick Scarberry was the first recruit that we signed from the state of Ohio.
Really?
His dad could shoot.
He can too.
He can.
Yeah, he can. He's a really good shooter.
He's a good shooter. Huh?
Yeah.
Is he a senior? You know,
I think he's a junior.
junior.
Yeah.
He doesn't start though, does he?
He does now.
He does.
Yeah.
Are they that good?
Yeah, he's
mean-
well coached. I mean, they got an All-American.
Really?
Big kid.
Right.
Will Voorhees, so he demands a
Really?
lot. They run everything through him, and they got some good shooters.
Because I remember talking. I stayed in touch with his dad, Rick. Throughout the years, I left Ohio U in 1989, and I still have a relationship with Rick Scarberry. And when his son decided to go to school, said he was going to go to Notre Dame.
You didn't call me.
Well, you weren't there then.
Oh. You know what else? West Liberty's best player went to Bob Huggins' high school. I never got a call.
Say that again?
The best player on West Liberty
Yeah.
went to Huggins' high school.
Is that the guy with one eye?
Yeah. I never got a call.
Hold on a second. How about the guy from West Liberty? I'm watching your second half
Yeah.
of West Liberty game. And I'm watching the second half. And I'm going like, who's this guy with one eye?
Yeah. I think he had a detached retina and open gym.
That guy shoots the heck out of it.
He does. He's good. But he went to Bob Huggins' high school, and I never got a call.
He went to Huggs' high school.
Yeah.
You never got a call.
No. That's 2 guys in the league that you didn't help me with.
I got a bunch more too.
I can imagine.
Hey, matter of fact, that kid from Beckley, right now.
I don't want to talk about
The
it.
guard?
I don't want to talk about it.
That
We're not
kid-
talking about it.
That kid can really play.
Yeah, we're not talking about it.
Well, you never called me to.
We're not talking about it. We're not talking about it.
All right. I got you. So let's talk about down the stretch for you.
Yeah.
You've had a tough last 6 games.
3 out of 6.
You've lost 3 out of 6.
Yeah. Which sounds like.
How do you get your kids back on track now? You got to.
First of all, that sounds a lot worse than what it really is.
3-3.
I know.
500.
And we're 17-7, which a lot of people would wish to have that.
17-7 is pretty good,
Yeah.
especially when you lost your first 2 games of the season.
I know.
You start out 0-2. So really, take those 2 games away.
Yeah.
You're 17-5.
Yeah.
Right? I'm 15-5.
Yeah, so those first 2 games, that was coming in, and we'll go back to, like, if someone were to ask me what I learned about being a head coach,
right.
you don't learn until year 4 or 5.
Right.
So I would like to think that I was one of the most prepared people going into a head coaching situation. But in reality, it doesn't matter how much you're prepared. You don't learn until – I don't think you really learn until year 3 or 4.
You're going to be a lot.
You agree with that?
No doubt. I tell you what, I was much better coach my 10th year than I was my first year.
Yeah, and it has nothing to do with the preparation. It has to do with just how you learn to handle the different situations. You can't simulate the different situations that you're in. So, we start out 0-2. If we were invited back to that tournament again, it'd be a completely different look because I didn't know how to prepare our team to play 2 games a week before you're supposed to.
Right. I got you.
That just comes down to experience.
Yeah, experience. Yes.
So you want to I would do things differently to be prepared to play 2 high-level games that early in the season. So I would say a lot of those first 2 losses had to do with coaching.
Right.
So we went on a tremendous run. Lose 3 out of our last 6. And I think some of that is just about timing. I think sometimes it's about timing. We had 3 road games.
Right.
And we didn't make some plays, and we didn't do the little things that are necessary to win. So we're in a situation now where when I got into coaching, I wanted to always revert it back to life. So how we try to get our kids back on track is this is where we're at.
Right.
This really has nothing to do with basketball. It's got to do with who you are as a person, and are you willing to understand that we need to learn 1 or 2 things to get back on track to be the team that we want to become, and are you willing to learn those?
Now, do you talk to your team
the same way
with the whole team together, or do you bring them in individually and have individuals with them all the time, or bring 2 or 3 in together?
So I'll break it up.
Talking to them, right?
I'm constantly communicating with the guys.
Yes.
I'll break it up.
Yes.
So in the beginning of the year, it was team. As the season went on, it was individual.
Right.
Then it was some groups. So I'm always meeting with my seniors. I'm always talking to.
Right.
You always have. There's always cliques on a team. So you got your seniors, you got your freshmen, you have your starters, you have your bench, you have your.
Right.
Your guys that you're relying on. You got your 2 guys.
The guys that go out drinking, the guys that don't drink.
Yeah,
I mean,
probably.
Sort of like our team when you were here.
So I'm constantly grouping our guys into different cliques, so to speak, and having conversations with them. Where are we at? What do we need to work on? Where are you guys at? Who do I need to worry about? So just constantly communicating with them. But very rarely about basketball. It's more about, this is where you're at. And what I've told them is the reason why we're 3-3 is because the game of basketball is trying to teach us something, and we're being too stubborn and not wanting to learn that.
You're not opening your mind up to why
that's happening. And you're not committing yourself to making it happen.
Exactly.
And it's the same thing with life.
Which we've talked about.
Yeah, and I think it's the same thing in life. It's like, okay,
sure.
crap's happening. You're getting laid off.
I've been trying to tell you this.
Yeah, you're getting laid off. Your kids.
I've been trying to tell you.
I think there's mental toughness in.
Right.
It's just one of our core values is true toughness, and we're constantly trying to identify it.
Right.
True toughness is the ability to do the next best right thing, regardless of the situation that you're in. Right. And that's where we're at right now. Is we got to prove how truly tough we are mentally.
Right.
And until we do that, we're not going to get the results we want.
And the other thing about coaching, Joe, is you're saying you had to learn how to play 2 games, like coming, back to back, and
just learning different things.
How to get ready.
Yeah.
Let me just tell you something. In coaching, you can't go to the library and check out a book that says.
No, you gotta trust yourself.
You know what I'm saying?
You gotta trust yourself.
I don't know about other professions, but if I'm a pharmacist, I read books about pharmacy.
Yeah.
And about everything, Yeah.
There's
not a whole lot of books.
How do you handle a back-to-back loss?
Exactly right. I mean, how do you let me check this book out. How do I handle back-to-back?
I think it just goes, you got to, and that's the one thing my wife and I talked about where we knew what we were getting ourselves into coming to Fairmont.
Right.
Coming off a national championship, me having 0 head coaching experience.
Right.
We knew what we were dealing with.
Right.
And we promised ourselves we were going to do it one way, and we're going to trust ourselves doing it that way. So we're just at a point that we have to continue to trust what we're doing.
Right.
And do it just a little bit better. But that comes down to just, how I want to handle a situation. So I'll tell you a funny one.
Yeah.
I don't know if you watch games, but we don't go back in the locker room for halftime anymore.
You do not go to the locker room
for halftime.
At halftime.
No.
Get out of here, Joe.
We don't.
Hold on a second. So at halftime,
we come back and sit on the bench.
When the buzzer rings,
we come back and sit on the bench, and we have a media timeout. I take a 2-minute timeout. So I immediately get to my team and give them immediate feedback.
They don't go in the locker room.
They don't go in the locker room. They sit on the bench. And
why is that?
like I said, I just made it up myself. So our starters we were losing the first 5 minutes of the second half every game.
Go ahead.
So I was like, okay, how are we going to fix that?
Right.
So to me, it was we were going in the locker room, we were too relaxed. We were wasting time because if there's an adjustment if we haven't made the adjustment that we need to by the end of the first half, then I'm not a good coach, right? Like I don't really think you need halftime to make an adjustment.
Go ahead.
So I was like, we're not going back there anymore. I'm not letting you relax. So we're going to meet for 2 minutes.
When did you start doing this?
I think it was like the 5th game into the season.
Of this year?
Yeah.
Out of nowhere.
I don't know. I was just
said, fellas, don't go back there.
Yeah, we're not going back there. We're -6. We're -6 in a 4 or 5 game stretch.
Interesting.
To start halftime, to start the second half.
Right.
So I'm not letting you relax. So we're going to meet. You're going to shoot threes.
Yep.
And then we're going to meet again, and then you're going to play.
I got you. Interesting.
And it's not a huge deal, but I wanted to do it that way.
Different ways to skin a cat, right?
Yeah.
They say.
And I don't know. It worked for a while.
It worked for a while. Now you better start taking it back in the locker room.
Now you may have to go back. Yeah.
You might have to go back.
But that's one of those things where, like, is that why we're 3-3? Like, no.
Exactly.
So it really doesn't matter.
Yeah, it does.
So it's focusing on the information that you're getting.
Right,
and I think too many people make a big deal whether I think one thing I learned in coaching is head coaches get too much credit and too much blame.
Isn't that the truth?
And I'm willing they get
too much credit and too much blame. Exactly right.
So you win a game,
Yep.
and everyone says you're this great coach. Well,
Yep.
in reality, you just made more shots than the other team,
Right.
and it looked like you were a good coach.
Right.
But then you lose a game,
Yeah.
and you turn the ball over and you don't make shots, and then it's like you didn't have the right game plan. And so I refuse to allow myself to get into this burden of I'm going to take all the credit for the wins and I'm going to take all the blame for the losses.
That's like Huggy Bear right now.
Yeah.
Hall of Fame coach.
Yeah, like
Sweet 16s, Final Four.
he just went to the Elite Eight last year, right?
Yeah, he's just
and it feels like it was 10
yeah,
years ago.
no. This year they go like, oh, games passed him by.
Yeah.
Get rid of him.
It didn't last year.
Oh, he can't relate to kids anymore. Last year, I think we went to the Sweet 16, and I'll be darned, he's the same guy I know.
Yeah.
It's crazy.
So,
Speaking of Coach Huggins,
okay.
I just wanted everybody to know this. Within a period of a week's time, I hit the trifecta.
Oh.
Trifecta being Bob Huggins, being tossed out of the game, 2 technical fouls getting tossed at Iowa State. A few days later, this guy named John Beeline at Michigan gets tossed at the Michigan-Penn State game at Penn State. And lo and behold, the trifecta I hit, I pick up the paper, Joe Mazzulla.
It was in the paper?
No, it wasn't. It was Todd May told me.
Oh, really? Oh, your friend.
My friend, yeah. That asked me to speak to his team.
Yeah.
He never called me up and asked me to speak to your team.
Okay. Anyways, go ahead.
No, it goes both ways.
Go ahead.
You know, you can give it to me, I can give it to you. But anyway, so Joe Mazzulla gets tossed to the game.
Yeah.
Just Saturday night.
Mm-hmm.
Can you tell me how it happened? Give me this scenario, because Joe doesn't swear.
No.
Joe Mazzulla does not
I can't
swear.
I do in practice sometimes.
Yeah, but Joe, not
I don't in the games.
No, I know you.
No,
I know
no,
you do.
no.
I mean, and your demeanor on the court, on courtside is phenomenal.
So I actually the sad part is.
Tell me what happened.
The sad part is I got a standing ovation from the fans.
You got a standing ovation
because I think they were finally. I think they thought they were going to get Joe Mazzulla the player as the coach.
They thought you were going to go nuts.
And I think that's illegal a lot now. You can't do that. So I think.
I love it.
So that's where I'm learning how to factor in that.
Go ahead.
There. So they were pretty excited, I guess. But
okay, why? What caused it though? Was it a missed foul?
No, it was a couple of things, but I think it comes down to you coach with your intuition, and my first concern is always my players.
Right.
And at that point, we had lost 3 out of the last 5. No, we had lost. I think it was 3 out of 5.
Right.
And we had played really, really hard. I thought our effort was tremendous throughout the Concord game.
Go ahead.
We had 12 assists, 4 turnovers.
Go ahead.
To start the second half, we had 7 live ball turnovers.
Those will kill
and
you.
then also shot 11 for 40 from 3. Our 2 best players.
You were 11 for 40?
Yeah, from 3. Our 2 best players were 5 of 25 from 3, and they both usually shoot over 40%.
Go ahead.
So I could see as the game was unfolding that it was apparent that they had lost confidence in themselves.
Go ahead.
And I thought the best way to combat that
Go ahead. Let's get
was
a
to
double
just
technical.
create a diversion and
Get tossed.
Yeah, and just it was twofold. One, I wanted to get the attention off of them because I could see them being a little discouraged.
Right.
And 2, at that point we knew the game was over. I knew we had 4 left, and I want ultimate trust.
Go ahead.
That I got my guys back.
Right, that you got their back.
That I got their back,
Right.
regardless of the circumstance.
So they think
it's not about you guys failing. It's about we're in this
Right.
together. And so I thought that was necessary.
So you were fighting for them,
Yeah.
and they thought you were fighting for them.
Yeah. Which I was. And
Which you were, yeah.
Yeah.
But I just want to know what the determining factor was that they decided to give you number 2, and you're out of here.
I was stubborn. I didn't.
You were stubborn.
I didn't leave the court. So.
So they asked you to leave the court.
Yeah, I was. It was a.
They told you to get back to your bench here.
Yes, and I didn't. And
you didn't do it.
I didn't want to do it.
Didn't want to do it.
I didn't want to do it.
So you stubbornly turned them down.
Yes. And just said I'm not.
How
leaving.
long did it take to get the second team?
They made me work very long. I think
They did?
it felt like it took 4 minutes.
Really?
It felt long, but it might have been a minute and a half. I don't know, but it felt like a long time. They really made me work for it.
Were they over there watching the video like those referees do?
No, we don't have the video there.
Let me ask this:
No.
Do you not to be?
But I tell you
not
what,
to be ignorant.
we have the best officials evaluate. We have the best head of officials.
Who is it?
Mike Eads. I have a great relationship with him.
Oh, you got Mike Eads?
Yes, he's the best.
Hold on a second.
He's the best.
Mike Eads from West Virginia?
Yes.
He's your supervisor of officials?
Yes.
Oh, Mike, you know how good Mike Eads is? Unbelievable.
Unbelievable. He does a tremendous
Oh,
job.
my gosh.
He does a tremendous job of
Yeah.
preparing his guys.
Good communicator.
Great communicator. He teaches them how to communicate with the
Yep.
officials.
Yep.
So it was nothing against them. So actually, after the game, I went back into the refs' locker room and shook their hands, and I was like,
Oh,
"Thank
did
you
you?
for allowing me to
Did
do
you?
what I needed to do for my team. I
Right.
appreciate it. Sorry
Right.
it had to go on so long."
Right.
So it was very amicable and it was good. So
Right.
there was nothing. It was not it wasn't emotional. It wasn't anything disrespectful. It was just that's what I felt like I needed to do for my team, and we went from there.
Speaking of Mike Eads, he's out right now.
Oh, he hurt his knee. Yeah. I
Hurt
just
his
talked to him
knee.
today.
He hurt his knee.
Yeah.
I'm watching a game on TV the other night, and
Did he hurt it in a game?
he
You know?
did hurt it in the game.
Oh, really?
He was running up and down the floor, and he tweaked his knee
Ah.
while he's running up and down, and it was bad enough that he couldn't finish the game.
Mm-hmm.
So I'm watching the game on TV, and the announcer's saying about Mike Eads not being back for Mike Eads won't be back for 4 to 6 weeks.
Yeah.
And I'm listening. I said, "What happened to Mike Eads?" So as soon as I heard it, I got Mike Eads' phone number. I called Mike Eads up.
Yeah.
Got a great relationship with him. So he answered. I said, "What's going on?" He told me he hurt his knee, and he is out 4 to 6 weeks.
Yeah, he's a great official. And
Oh,
he's a great great leader.
He's a Final Four.
Yeah.
He's a Final Four referee.
Uh-huh.
He should be in every Final Four.
And our refs are tremendous. They do a great job. And that's
Right.
what I didn't want it to turn into was like, oh, the ref. It wasn't about that. It had nothing to
Right.
do with them. We could have had Mike on the game, and I would have gotten, still would have gotten tossed. So it had nothing to do with them.
Joe, so how many games you have left?
We have 4 games left.
You got 4 left, and
Yeah.
they're against,
Charleston,
which is Saturday,
Thursday.
Thursday,
West Virginia State on Saturday.
on Saturday. Is that a home game?
No, they're both on the road.
Both on the road.
Yep. Actually, Sunday is a nationally televised game.
Sundays is?
Yeah.
What's that on?
I think it's on ESPN Plus.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
On Sunday, what time?
5?
Really?
Yeah.
I'll be tuned in.
And then we are home against Wesleyan and home against Shepherd.
So you finish up with 2 home games.
Yes.
What do you need? I mean, obviously, you want to try to win them all.
Yeah.
Are you definitely in the playoffs?
No.
You're not.
No.
You gotta get a certain. You gotta end up a certain way to get it seeded or whatever.
Yeah.
How many teams they take?
8.
Oh, you'll surely be one of
Oh,
them.
I'm in the conference tournament.
You're
I
in
don't know if
the-
that's a conference.
You're in a conference
Yeah,
tournament.
yeah, yeah. We're tied for second in the league.
And
right now.
when's the conference tournament start?
First week of March.
Is that in Charleston?
No, it's in Wheeling this year. It's at West Bank Arena.
Oh, they changed it.
Yeah, yeah.
It was in Charleston forever.
It has been there a long time. And then this is the first year it'll be in Wheeling at West Banco Arena.
I know it started. I know it was in Charleston since 1975 because
You were at Morris Harvey.
I started Morris Harvey
Yeah,
College
yeah.
in the league. Mm-hmm. Played Fairmont State.
Did you? Did you beat him?
Are you kidding me? Joe Renton.
Oh, you coached against Joe Renton?
Yes, I coached against Joe
That's
Renton.
awesome.
Joe Renton and Fairmont State were so good. It was my first job. I graduated from the University of Maryland. Thought I played with good players, great players, which I did. All NBA players, which I did. Oh, excuse me. Can't take this right now. My other girlfriend, Kath. What was I talking about?
Your first year at Morris Harvey.
Yeah. So Joe Renton had it going on. So there was a kid on that team. I get the job, and I told Rich McPhelsel, who hired me, how good the players were at Maryland that I played with. He says, well, Coach Hahn, you're going to scout Fairmont State. They're pretty good. Well, they had a kid on their team named Dave Moore. Davey
Moore.
Oh, my gosh. I get back from scouting. I told Coach McPhessel. I said, Coach, that guy can play at Maryland.
Yeah.
The guy's that good. Then Archie Talley.
Archie Talley at Salem, right?
Salem, yep.
Yeah, a lot of good players at Division II that people don't realize. We just had two guys in the last 2 years play in the G League. One played for the Long Island Nets, one played for the Detroit Pistons G League team. Thomas Winbush is playing for the Long Island Nets. And then Jamel Morris played for the Pistons G League team last year. And he was in Croatia.
And where do they go to school?
Fairmont State.
Both of them?
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Calhoun's kids?
Yeah.
Excuse me. Too many cigarettes. Calhoun's recruited both guys?
Yeah.
Will they play in the pros?
Mm-hmm.
I know they're in the G League, but
will
they be called up?
I doubt it. And we just had a kid from Wheeling Jesuit got called up for the 76ers. Haywood
I
Highsmith.
saw that. Yeah.
Mm-hmm. So there's a lot of talent at Division II level.
The Division II level. Do they view the monitors?
No.
So
they do for TV games and NCAA tournament.
They do.
Yeah.
Because if you watch the college game, it drives me crazy.
Oh, yeah.
Watch the game.
Yeah.
They go to the video.
Yeah.
Watch the video. Two referees go over. They talk about it. Then the third guy goes in there. And then they all get together and they talk about it.
Yeah.
It's just a waste of time. I hate it. All right, let me ask you this. Coming down the stretch.
Mm-hmm.
Now I'm going to go back. So you go to the conference tournament.
Yeah.
Then they pick how many teams to go to the NCAA tournament.
8.
In your region.
Yes. So 8 out of 44 total.
How many teams are in the region?
45?
45?
Yeah.
So I'm going to choose 8 of you guys.
Yeah.
Are you guys ranked now?
I think we're 8th. 7th or 8th.
Are you ranked nationally?
No.
Get any votes?
Not anymore. We were.
You were?
We were in the top 25, and then we were just out of it.
You were?
Yeah.
My boy at IUP's number 3, isn't he?
Yeah, I know.
Hate to keep bothering you.
Yeah.
You know what? I got some guys in there. You know, I got some pretty good friends, Joe.
I know.
You maybe need to call me more so I can talk to your guys and maybe share a little of my philosophy.
You came and talked to our team this year.
Yeah, I had to ask you.
No, you didn't. I asked you.
me?
Yes.
Oh, did you?
Yes. You came on a Tuesday. I remember it.
Was I any good?
Yeah.
I did.
Guys
all
still
right.
quote you.
I did all right, right?
Yeah.
You still quote me?
The guys do.
They do?
Yeah. I still say some of your isms from.
You still do some Billy Hahn isms?
Oh yeah.
Isn't that crazy that
the basketball gods? I know you always talk about
basketball gods are always watching, Joe.
Yeah.
And don't you ever forget that the basketball gods they watch over players, they watch over coaches.
Yeah.
It's the crazy thing.
You either getting better or getting worse.
You either get better or you get worse.
You never stay the same.
Never stay the same.
That was another one. There's one I can't say.
I can't even imagine what that is. We won't say it. So you know
the
what?
best thing I always liked that you did was you used to get Coach Huggins riled up. So when we were, because I was always on the scout, I was always on the second team. So I never started.
Yeah, right.
So if the starters were beating up on us, you would yell at us.
Yeah.
And if we were beating up on the starters, you would yell at the starters for letting us second string guys get on you.
I kept the fire going.
you would always Huggy Bear would feed off of you, and he would just start berating anyone.
And I just did it on purpose because I knew how to get the hugs, man.
But that kept practice going some days.
But we sort of fed off each other.
That kept practice going.
Exactly right. Now, what will you have to do down the stretch? We're getting ready to wrap this up. So you're going to finish your season. You got 4 games left?
Yeah.
Until you start the tournament.
Mm-hmm.
So 4 games left regular season, then the conference tournament. What do you have to do so you get selection, so to speak, selection Sunday for the NCAA overall tournament? What do you got to do?
I mean, I would imagine.
You got to win the conference tournament?
Maybe not. I know we'd have to win out right now, probably.
You got to win these next 4 regular season games.
Yeah.
Which puts you at 21-7.
Mm-hmm. Which isn't a bad.
Which is a pretty good record.
It's not.
Then
okay.
you got to go to the tournament.
And you probably got to
win 2 rounds.
Yeah, to be safe, probably.
So to win that thing, you got to win 3 games or 4.
We got to win. We have to win.
To win the tournament.
6. We got to win the next 6.
For the conference tournament?
Oh.
Conference
to win the conference tournament, you got to win 3 games in 3 days.
You got to win 3 games in 3 days.
Yeah.
And that's at Wheeling.
Yep.
Now, will they draw crowds up there for that?
I don't know. I've never been. I don't even know where it is.
It's a nice arena.
Is it?
Yes.
I've never been.
Matter of fact, I think the arena is better for the tournament because it's not as big as the Charleston Civic Center.
Really?
It's more of a...
I remember even playing for Coach Beeline. No one shoots well in that arena.
Yeah, I got you. So you played in that place?
Yeah. We played against...
What exhibition game there? Oh,
no, we played against Blake Griffin. Remember sophomore year? We had Oklahoma coming in.
Oh, you mean the Charleston Civic Center?
Yeah.
Yeah, I do remember that. Boy, that was a tough game.
That was man.
That was a hard game, Joe.
That was a hard game.
Jeff Capel was the coach there.
Yeah, yep.
Who's now the head coach of Pitt.
Yeah.
All the memories we have.
I know, we have a lot of them.
You know what's crazy?
You know, when we went to the Final Four, I remember you put 200 minutes on the clock. You put 200 minutes on the board.
I did, didn't I?
Yeah, to start
every year, and I'd scratch it off.
Every game, you would just take off 40.
Take off 40 minutes, didn't I?
160 left.
I did, didn't I?
Yeah. I'm going to use that.
That was sort of my thing.
I'm going to use that. Because we have 4 games left.
Pretty effective.
160 minutes.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
And you know what? If you break it down that way, it doesn't seem like that big a thing.
It doesn't. I'm going to use that tomorrow.
There you go.
Yep. See, I learned something today.
See, you did learn something, did you? I love it, man. All right. I want to thank everybody for coming out. We'll be here again next week. Watch the papers to see who my guest is for next week. I want to thank the Greene Turtle for sponsoring this show. And we can be seen on DominionPost.com. They do a great job of going back, editing this, and loading it up, and they have it on their website, DominionPost.com, by 9 o'clock tomorrow morning. Tell all your friends. I put it across Facebook, and I tweet it out there and everything, so we can get some people to watch on that. But thank the Greene Turtle. Thank DominionPost.com. Thanks for my crew. Appreciate you setting up every week, making this happen, and we'll see you next week.
Thank
you very much.
Thank you.